Okay, welcome back to week 6. We're going to be making 2 videos this week, one for the Anova and another one for the Manova assignment. So for the Anova, what the Anova does is basically uses a series of t-tests comparing means and variances. So, but it does a lot of them at the same time. And so we'll go over that. So for the Anova, what you want to do is for your dependent variable, you want to use continuous data. And for your independent variable, you can use either ordinal or nominal data. And remember that continuous data is data that can be subdivided, like age. You can say it's so many years and a half. And everybody knows what half a year is 6 months. Or a quarter of a year, everybody knows that it's 3 months. Okay. Or like a ruler, you can say half a ruler, everybody knows it's 6 inches. There's no, ambiguity. There's no misinterpretation. Rather than ordinal data, even though you might see numbers because it's ranked, when you subdivide it, it's difficult to see if the subdivisions are equal, as opposed to like a ruler or age. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. So in ANOVA, the continuous data has to be continuous, and the independent variable is either ordinal or nominal. Okay, so in our example from the book, we're going to be using school environment, and that's going to be ordinal, and we're going to use that for our independent variable, and then we're going to compare that to GPA, and that's going to be scale or continuous. And for SPSS, scale is synonymous with continuous. So if you want to make your own data file, let me go into school environment here. Let's find it here on SPSS. So let's see what school environment is. All right, look over here at school environment. So that's the one that we're going to use for our independent variable here. And you notice there's a bunch of zeros, and I scroll all the way down, and eventually there's a bunch of ones, and then eventually you're going to see a bunch of twos. All right, so when this was created, the numbers that you got for school environment, or that the researcher got, the researcher decided to break up the results into 3 levels: low, medium, and high. Okay, and just rank them as 1, 2, 0, 1, and 2 as low, medium, and high. Okay, so low, medium, and high, what makes it ordinal is that you can't subdivide that. All right, so look over here. So if you were putting in your own data, in data view, you put in your numbers. So anything that is from one range to another, you're going to categorize those as low, and then the next group is going to be, you're going to characterize them as middle, and then the last one you're going to characterize them as high. And you can divide that up any way you want. Like, for example, if you're going to be doing, let's say, a test, and rather than reporting the scores as continuous data, you want to do it ordinal for whatever reason you might have. So the range might be from 1 to 100%. So all the students who got like from 1 to 33%, you're going to categorize as low. And 34 to 66, whatever that is, you're going to categorize that as medium. And then from 66 or 67 to 100, you're going to categorize that as high for the purpose of your interpretation of your data. So that's what this researcher did. Instead of putting in the numbers of scores of 1 to 100, they broke them up into 3, and low is going to be 0, 1 is going to be medium, and 2 is going to be high for the purpose of this researcher. Okay, so let's go into the variable view, and I want to see how he did that. So after he coded it 0, 1, and 2, you have to tell the computer how to treat those numbers. So see where I'm hovering here under values? If you touch this ellipsis here, all right, you have to tell the computer, what's what. Okay, you have to put in the value. You put the value up here. So the researcher up here put 0, and then label, he put in low. And then you hit enter, and it appears down here. And then for the medium, you put a value of 1, and then he labeled that medium. He puts it here, and when you hit OK, it comes down here. And then for the high, 2, and put the label high. So for the purpose of running the SPSS, the Anova, it'll use those labels that you put in here. So again, this is where you put that in. All right. This is how you tell SPSS that something's low, something's medium, and something's high. All right, and we'll do that again with the Anova. All right, let's go ahead and run this. So we go analyze general linear univariate this time. For dependent variable, I want to put in my GPA. So let's see if I can find that real fast. GPA we know is scale, grade point average. There we go. All right. So for the independent variable, which is going to go over here in the fix, we want to do school environment. Let's look for that. Let's see. Quality of school, school environment. There you go. All right, so now you have that. So this is important. The post hoc, we're going to put school environment under the post hoc, and we're going to choose Shiffy. Okay, so what the Anova does is it runs an analysis comparing means and variance. And so what it'll do is it'll compare the means between the low, medium, and high relative to the GPA. And it'll tell you if there's a significant difference between low, medium, and high. But that's all it does. It'll tell you whether something's there or not, the difference is there or not, the significant difference. But it doesn't tell you where it is. So if the Anova tells you that there is indeed a difference, you have to go one step beyond and do a post hoc. It's a test after a test. So we're going to choose Shiffy. And this one will tell you that if there is a significant difference, it'll tell you where it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We have the school environment chosen for the post hoc. We chose the test that we want. We're going to hit continue, hit OK, and this will generate the results. Okay, so what we're looking at here is we're going to go down here to the money shot. Right here, the first one's here. Look at school environment, okay? School environment, this number here tells you if indeed there is a difference anywhere between low, medium, and high relative to the GPA. If that number would be higher than 0.05, it's not significant. If it's lower than 0.05, there is indeed a difference somewhere, but it doesn't tell you where, okay? So once you get this, there is a difference, then you look at the post hoc. And because we chose to have it run right away, you don't have to do it all over again. It's already here. So look at the multiple comparisons. Now we're looking at quality of school environment relative to that. Low, medium, and high. Okay. The dependent variable is grade point average. Relative to the low, medium, high in terms of school environment. Is there a statistical difference? Now, if you look at all these, they're all less than 0.05. So that any combination of these, low, medium, and high, there is indeed a difference. And you can write it up. Between low and medium, there's a difference. Between low and high, there's a difference. Just write it up. One sentence for each one of those that you see. All right. So we're going to stop here, and then the next video is going to be Anova. And a Anova, as I'll explain in the next video, is pretty much just like an Anova, but you can put in more than one dependent variable and compared to more than one dependent variable. Okay, let me stop here.